All right, let's dive right in. We're going to explore this massive, hidden battle that's shaping, well, pretty much everything in our modern world. It's not a fight over land or oil, but over something way more fundamental.
Well, the answer to that question reveals this deep conflict over something we just take for granted every day: information itself. On one hand, you've got this huge push for total transparency, and on the other, an equally powerful system that's built from the ground up for control.
So what you're looking at here are really two totally different ways of thinking about information. One side is trying to blow the lid off hidden networks of power and money, for the public good. The other side? It's all about capturing our personal information for profit and for control. And right now, these two forces are locked in this global tug of war.
So let's start with the champions of transparency. We're talking about groups like the International Consortium of Investigative Journalists, or the ICIJ. These are the folks on the front lines, doing the hard work to drag secret information out into the open.
And what's the main weapon? Data. Just massive amounts of data. They're on this huge public database that exposes the sheer scale of hidden global finance. We're talking detailed records on over 810,000 offshore entities, all pulled from huge investigations you've probably heard of, like the Panama and Pandora Papers.
Now, here's where it gets really interesting. They've built this new tool, an API. Think of it like a digital superconnector. It lets anyone, journalists, researchers, you, plug their own data directly into this giant offshore database. It makes finding those shady connections faster than ever and just supercharges any investigation.
And this quote from its director, Gerard Ryle, really says it all. The goal isn't just to drop a big story and walk away. It's about empowering everybody to hold power accountable. It's about building a toolkit for global transparency. But, for every action, there's always a reaction. Pushing back against this drive for transparency is this enormous architecture of control. A system that wants to do something very, very different with our information.
It has a name: surveillance capitalism. And according to some really deep research from the Harvard Kennedy School, this isn't just the business model for a couple of tech companies. No, it's a global geopolitical system, and it's designed to pull in and control data on a scale we've just never seen before.
And this thing doesn't just live on the internet. It's propped up by this whole institutional framework. We're talking about legal systems, international trade deals, and even military intelligence partnerships. They all work together to protect and, frankly, to promote the nonstop collection of our data.
Right, so this incredibly complex system didn't just pop up out of nowhere. It was built piece by piece over decades. And governments, especially the US government, really played the lead architect in putting it all together. It all really started back in the 90s with this very hands-off, let the industry do its thing approach to the internet. Then, after 9/11, everything changed. That commercial data-gathering system got fused with national security, creating this incredibly powerful surveillance partnership. From there, it was basically packaged up and exported to the rest of the world through global trade policies.
And this photo, it perfectly captures that strategy. It was at meetings just like this one, where the US used big international organizations and trade deals to lock in rules that favored these massive, unregulated flows of data over any kind of democratic oversight. They essentially wrote the global playbook for surveillance capitalism.
But what if I told you the ultimate form of information control isn't about collecting new data? What if it's the power to take public information and make it secret all over again?
Yeah, get ready for this, because it's kinda wild. We're talking about a concept where information that's already been declassified, already released to the public, can be systematically pulled back and locked away from all of us. It's a real process, and it's called declassification withdrawal. It means government agencies can literally walk into the public national archives and just take documents back. Records that historians, journalists, and regular citizens have been able to look at for years. The claim? Oh, they were never supposed to be declassified in the first place. And this wasn't some accident. The process was put into law through legislation and executive orders, and a lot of the time, it happened completely under the radar. So what this all means is, even when transparency wins a battle, the system of control has this one final, incredible power move: the ability to just pull information back into the shadows. So at the end of the day, we are left with this global tug of war. On one side, you've got the forces of transparency, building these amazing tools to open the books and show us what's really going on. And on the other side, you have the forces of control, building this massive architecture of surveillance and secrecy that's designed to manage exactly what we are and are not allowed to know.
And that leaves us with maybe the single most important question for our digital future. Is information going to be a tool for holding power accountable, or is it going to be a mechanism for private control? The answer to that is really going to define where power lies in the 21st century.
All right,